I'm sharing today from outside. I hope that I don't get too interrupted. So the topic is direction of time from Quantum Tour website by Alexander Poltorek on the subject of retrocausality. So first of all, Newton's laws of mechanics are time symmetric and allow time to go forward and backward. Einstein's special relativity, time and space are unified into a four-dimensional space-time continuum where past, present, future all exist at the same time. The so-called block universe is agnostic to the direction of time. Thermodynamics is not symmetric with time because entropy increases with time, so in one direction. And thermodynamic processes are irreversible. So once they go in a direction, you can't go backwards. It's not symmetrical on both sides of the present moment. Then we have here Schrodinger's, while Schrodinger's equation of quantum mechanics itself is symmetric in time, the collapse of the wave function is not. It is irreversible. So the future affecting the present affecting the past, which is past, present, and future only relative concepts that are only meaningful in the same frame of reference. Like, you have to be in this moment to say this is past, present, and this is future. Meanwhile, if you're in a different moment, it could be a different frame of reference. You would say that's present, future, past. Anyway, Richard Feynman said that the positron, is an electron traveling backwards. He and his teacher, John Archibald Wheeler, developed a theory called the Wheeler-Feynman absorber theory, or also known as the Wheeler-Feynman time symmetric theory, where all antiparticles are moved as particles or waves, viewed as particles or waves traveling back in time. In other words, what you think is going forwards is going backwards. So an electron, which has a negative charge in this direction, is really a positron in that direction. Yakir Aharonov in 1998 had the theory of how random events in quantum mechanics are caused by events in the future. He calls it back from the future. And the two-state vector formalism proposed and developed by Arthur Eddington, 1928, Erwin Schrödinger, 1932, and formulated by Satoshi Watanabe, 1955, is that the inner product of the two vectors of history from past to future and propagation of future to past represents the probability amplitude of the future state which collapse happens in the present. So past to future and propagation of future to past, there's an inner product of these two almost like templates. And this idea is further understood when we think about how Kabbalah says that the past impregnates the future and gives birth to the present. When we know choices before they're made, we can experience this like as experimenting with our decisions, and whether or not you actually know your choice before you make it, or someone else's choice. And finally, there's an idea in Judaism called teshuvah, which is to return. This is retrocausality. What actually happens is you change something in the past, even though you're in the future. Something you do now alters the past. It's not symmetric, in other words. And I feel like there's a few things to get into a little bit here. So I want to talk about projection, which is when we take what we've already experienced and project it in the future. And the idea that every person is really two people. So starting from projection. So projection is how I make these theories and mathematics and quantum philosophies sort of becoming real in our life. When we project, we are doing just that. We are impregnating the future with our past, and then in our present moment it becomes relevant. So so these are some projections. When I did inner meditation, I found some of them. And you do it inside yourself. What are you projecting on others? What do you see when you look into the blank space of another person that should be an open future and you're making it something specific? For me, it's that someone needs to feel clean or cute. that someone cannot have altruistic intentions, that someone has fear of fear and fear of desire, that women are weak and powerless to fight back, broken home upbringing, someone's not finished grieving, projecting on someone black and white thinking, projecting that someone wants to just be with someone, just not to be alone, that someone is trying to replace someone or someone's giving to get. Did I mention disordered eating? Someone who's needs to be enveloped by warmth, someone has inner unchallenged agreements about righteousness, someone who's afraid to hear no or be called stupid, and that someone what one needs to let others buy them things, someone that one needs to let others buy them things, someone that feels that being a brat is bad, or that everything can be anything is what you make of it, someone who requires getting what the times offer, someone who is in possibility when they're reaching out instead of getting rejected, which means to not try, someone who feels needing recognition is bad and should be destroyed, someone who refuses to spend direct contact with their self, someone who is going through transitions and changes where it is challenging, someone who has guilt over not seeing the treasures at the time of being shared, someone who's not being seen as the prize to be treasured, someone who's supposed to do more than what's being done in the moment, someone who's milking a woman and leaving her, leaking out, becoming nobody, someone who should be available at the time of need for even the whims, someone who uses sexual feelings to escape their heart pangs, someone who denies their violent or enraged impulses and triggers, someone who represses pleasure and subtle pursuits and gratifications. And so every man is two men. This is from Khalil Gibran. I saw this post on Instagram. It says, one is awake in the darkness and one is asleep in the light. So let's think about this past, future. Like the past is kind of what is become to light because it already happened. The future is like in the darkness. So we're going to be awake in the darkness and we're asleep in the past. We didn't realize what was happening while it was happening. So the persona is not the same thing as the consciousness. The consciousness can be aware of the persona. It's not the same thing as the shadow, which is what we're not aware of. So there are a few love languages. We have to become aware of this animus that we're unaware of till now. And also guilt, where we're begging, where we're censoring, where we're withdrawing, and even people pleasing so that the others don't plot revenge. Like this is all what we may have been asleep in. Then I also want to share that I'll stop here. I think that's good for today, and I look forward to sharing more tomorrow. Be well. Bye.